Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day you're watching this at, and welcome to another feeble attempt at a review. As you can tell from the title of this video, I am not going to be looking at this big green thing, which as you can see, despite being a Grizzly A1, is not Flying Scotsman. It's actually Royal Lancer. Anyway, I'll just move this engine to one side, if you'll excuse me. Try not to fall over in the process. Anyway, this is what we're going to be looking at today. Which, as you can tell, is well, no prizes for guessing what type of locomotive this is, or the manufacturer. Anyway, so I'm recording this video just the day after she appeared in she came in through the post. This is I got this engine on Trade Me, and as you can see, wrong end of the box, silly me. Just need to switch back to manual focus again. Is that set properly? Yes, it is. There we go. What is that? Product code is 35-075, class E4 579 LB&SCR Umber. I always call this livery Marsh Umber, by the way. For some reason, everyone else on YouTube just refers to it as Umber. Anyway, that's, as you can see, that symbol there just means that the model will take a 6-pin DCC socket, chip, in case you ever want to make this engine compatible with the DCC layout. But for the time being, my engine will not be running on DCC because I do not have that set up at the moment, even though I have a Hornby E-Link which works with the Railmaster software. But anyway, I'll shut up, stop and restart the recording, and take the engine out of the packaging. Yes, so as you can clearly see, this is a Bachmann branch line model. Bachmann are actually, I believe they are actually an American company, although they do have this division called Bachmann Branch Line, which makes British engines. But anyway, as you can tell, this box isn't in perfect condition, but it is second hand, so what do you expect? Anyway, there's the usual stuff about it's an authentically detailed model, not suitable for children, etc. There's the brief history on the E4 class, which, if I can get the camera to focus on it. There we go. So feel free to pause the video and read the information if you like. Right, so anyway, let's actually get into what's in the model. Not what's in the model, what's in the box. Alright, so I think it's the usual, slide the sleeve off, dump it on the floor, which I'm assuming most people wouldn't do. As you can tell, the engine's in the the standard block of ice packaging, which is fairly normal for model locomotives that are made, I think, post mid-2000s. Oh, that's right, I forgot to show you the instruction sheet, as it were. There we are. Here's the, obviously, there's just the usual stuff about the advising them for running in, DCC fitting, etc. What is that? I'll just say, model ship, yeah, just the usual warning stuff there. I've noticed that this diagram here at the front of the engine, I think that's more like the BR, British Railways, I mean, livery, because as you can tell it's got the smoke box number plates. But anyway, that's a bit of a pointless thing to look at. And on this side is the exploded diagram, which breaks down all the small detailed parts so that if you ever lose something, you can just phone up Bachmann, and provided that they still make spare parts for the E4s, you can go and order some for yourself. Anyway, I'll put those to one side. And here's the main event. Please do try to ignore the filthy state of my desk. It's not often that, well, it's probably the first time it's ever appeared in a video. But anyway, this is the main reason why we're all here today. If I can get the camera to focus on it. I just might have clipped the brake rigging. Anyway. this is the rather nice E4. As you can tell, this is probably one of the best liveries I've ever had in the collection, to be perfectly honest. The other one that I quite like the most is the yellow, ochre and brown livery that HS 4000 Kestrel has. Anyway, what's to say about the detail? Well, there's actually quite a bit of it. The first thing I will say though is that the engine's got a good amount of weight, and I think that's because the running board is made of die-cast metal. Anyway, so as you can tell, this is a very ornate livery, as it were. It goes very well with Pullman coaches, I might add. As you can see, you've got the running number, which is 579, on the side tanks. Sorry, not the side tanks. The bunker, which interestingly is a lot narrower than the frame, which is a feature of the real E4s. As you can tell, you've got the LB&SCR lettering down the side, which stands for two things. It primarily stands for London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, but it also stands for Let's Bite Some Cheese. Sorry, I had to say that. Anyway, I've just kind of got something on the camera saying that the battery is getting a bit low, so I'll have to make this quick. Anyway, so as you can tell, the engine's wheel arrangement is 062, which is a bit interesting because I haven't got any 062s in my collection up until now. What else is there to say? Well, first of all, there's these, I don't know if you can see it, but there's these absolutely giant lamp irons on the front of the engine, which are a bit excessive if you ask me, but I guess that's just the way the LB&SCR did things. If anything, it almost looks like the engine's got cutlery and is ready to have dinner. Anyway, so interestingly, you've got the cab roof in this sort of off-white. I'm not exactly sure why, but if I can, it's focusing on the background. You've also got this rather impressive Westinghouse. This brake pump, because obviously that means this engine had air brakes. It doesn't have one. Obviously, it doesn't have one on the other side, which I believe is as per the real thing. Yeah, see, one thing I think the main reason I went for this LB&SCR livery is simply, well, this LB&SCR version is simply because of the livery. I did remember seeing a BR black version on Hatton's, but I didn't go for that because I felt the black livery was too boring. Yes, it's interesting because there's this handrail along here, which up the front of the smoke box, it really doesn't have that much structural integrity. So if you grab that thing in just about the wrong place, it'll come clean off. You've also got, what side is it? Some sort of grabber. I think it's on this side, I think. I'm pointing it. It's at the tip of my finger. They probably can't see it. Interesting way the safety valve bonnet is designed. Certainly nothing like what the Great Western has. And although you probably can't see it, the cab detail is really quite impressive on this engine. She's got, well, interestingly, she's also got the back of the cab painted into this sort of cream colour. And even there's like three little racks in the back there that are actually painted black. So I guess they took the Rolling Stones, yeah, you can see, just about see it. So I guess they took the Rolling Stones advice and decided to paint it black. Why I'm referencing a song I don't like is anyone's guess. Yeah, but unfortunately I don't think you can see the cab detail all that well, but there is an awful lot of it, like the regulator. Actually no, I think I'll try using the torch on my phone. So please excuse me while I fiddle around with this sort of thing. It is a bit tedious. Yeah, you can just about see it. But yeah, the cab detail really is amazing on this engine. I think it's got the you've got all the paintwork is done properly. You've got the you can even make out what the firehole door is. I think it's even got those little black and white stripes in the gauge glasses, and the regulator's red, as I think it should be. Unfortunately, there's no painting on the dials, but considering all the other detail that's there, I guess it's acceptable. Unfortunately, this engine doesn't have sprung buffers, which I really don't understand, because normally these more premium models do have sprung buffers. I mean, heck, even the hold on a second. Silly engine. This engine, which is a Hornby LMS Princess Royal class, does have sprung buffers, which are metal, which is another thing. Might as well keep the engine there for the time being. So it's interesting because that Princess Royal, I believe, was made in like the early 2000s. So it's interesting to see that that one's got sprung buffers and the E4 doesn't. But anyway, so aside from the lack of paint on the dials in the cab and the lack of sprung buffers, there's really not that much wrong with this engine. The other thing I don't like is that the wheels on the rear trailing axle are not sprung. So that means that they don't push in when you try to push them, but they do have an awful lot of side play, as you can see. Driving wheels have a bit of side play as well, which I think is to do with running around curves on people's layouts. But anyway, I think that's enough of an overview of the engine, so I'll try to get the camera's battery charged, or I might not, but anyway. The next thing to do, of course, is to put her on the layout and see how she runs. Stupid bus. Anyway, right, so as you can tell, we're now on the layout in the garage, and the E4 is just about to do some tests for us. But I feel I should also introduce you to that little creature. Maggie, you gonna say anything? Yes, this is my cat. Meg? Anyway, back to the E4. Right, so I have run this engine before, and from what I've seen, she really is actually quite a smooth runner. Mind you, you tend to expect that sort of thing these days. And I'll just do a quick forward and back demonstration. There she goes. And now I think I shall cut to a montage of clips of her running round. Actually, no, I think I will just continue filming trying to do a loop around the layout. What's the cat doing? Probably thinks that there's still food there, even though it's actually an upturned food bowl. Anyway, probably should stop getting distracted. Let's get her going. And the ruddy thing cut out on the points. Oh, there she goes. I've got to set to a fairly slow speed, I think, because I don't want her screaming round like some sort of madman. Now, for a second I thought the front driving wheels came off. There she goes. Yeah, this livery really does look nice in the sun, as I found out yesterday when I was getting pictures of her. Oh, bother! Front wheels just came off. Is she working? Yep. Let her go again. Yes, as you can tell, she really doesn't make a lot of... She's a smooth runner and she doesn't really make a lot of noise. Just checking to make sure the driving wheels are on. Yep, I think they are. It's happened again. Every time she goes over... Oh, and I've just stood on the cat's tail. Wonderful. Where is she? Yes, I do have a Tommy Thomas here. What are you going to do about it? What's the cat doing? Oh. She's out of focus. She's really out of focus. That's better. I don't know. I think I'll I think I will just reverse the E4 back into the sun. That's the Bachmann and Clarabelle set there. I was trying the E4 with those coaches just the other day. Well, no, sorry, yesterday. Right, that's a plane. That's a plane going over, in case you couldn't tell. Where is that thing? Ah, there she is. Anyway. Right, so the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway E4 class. What do I think of her? Well, not really sure. Well, obviously the livery is probably my favourite aspect. Other than that, I think she's got a good amount of detail. Runs well, doesn't make too much noise. Just the usual stuff, really. So, plus, of course, the giant lamp irons. You can make jokes about cutlery. Anyway, yeah. So I think I don't have a rating system or anything. So I'll just say that if you are interested in pre-1923 liveries and you want to model that sort of era, go ahead and get this engine. But if you're not, just go ahead and get this engine, because I think she's really nice. Yeah, so anyway, good. I guess it's goodbye from me. See if Maggie has anything to say. Clearly not. Yeah, so I guess in that sense, might as well say goodbye and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.